On the headlines tonight, breaking news now, Manila City suspends classes all levels, public and private, as the southwest monsoon still affects most of northern and central Luzon. We will be updating you as it occurs. Expedited, the House Prosecution Panel welcomes the latest ruling on the Vice President's impeachment by the court, a review of the evidences under the supervision of the Clerk of Court. And our top story, the oath. The Row Republic of the Philippines inaugurates President Navarro and Vice President Ardiente under a rejuvenated motto. We will have a special live interview with the President. And RBS Entertainment News later on, Tom Holland, Will You Come Back? The massive success of Spider-Man Brand New Day prompts questions to Marvel whether he will return for another film. And RBS Sports News, EJ Ubiena continued his gold medal streak by winning the Stabschaftsprung meeting in Joachim, Germany, and Alex Ayala secures a landmark tennis title by defeating world number 3 Jessica Bakula of the United States. From RBS News, good evening. As we come on air tonight, the breaking news over class suspensions again. The City of Manila local government is issued a official citywide class suspension for Friday, August 7th, 2026. Even as neighboring areas like Marikina, Cavite, and Laguna have already suspended face-to-face classes due to continuous heavy rains, though intermittent at times, from the southwest monsoon or the Habagat and tropical depression Maymay. So indeed, residents and students across the zone are advised to stay tuned to updates from your local government unit. Earlier today, we saw the announcement from the Malacanang that classes and work have been suspended. So to start our newscast tonight, the House Prosecution Panel has welcomed the impeachment court's latest rulings, which aim to expedite the trial regarding confidential funds. We are in the first article of the Vice President's impeachment. To save time during courtroom sessions, the court approved a joint examination of about 4,492 documentary evidence pages across 15 boxes. This review will take place outside of the courtroom under the supervision of the clerk of court. Private prosecutor Attorney Lorna Kapunan had explained that examining less than 1,000 documents inside the courtroom had already taken nearly an hour and cut a witness's testimony short. She did note that the defense had already seen these materials, including acknowledgement receipts and notices of disallowance during the pre-trial phase. House Prosecutor Representative Joel Chua had questioned why the defense refused to stipulate documents that originally originated from the Office of the Vice President itself. Additionally, though, the impeachment court had granted the prosecution's request to take judicial notice of select House Quad Committee records, transcripts, and reports. And while the defense has opposed this move, arguing that evidence should only be formally examined before the impeachment court, the court did clarify that taking judicial notice simply acknowledged that the hearings took place rather than establishing the absolute truth of past testimonies. The prosecution members suggested that the defense's opposition to these procedural measures was an attempt to delay proceedings and of representatives prior. Representative Zia Alonto Adyong highlighted that the defense seemed to want the court to act as if these discussions had never happened, forcing the prosecution to prove every single detail from scratch. Magna did conclude that whilst procedural steps such as document reviews and stipulations can make the process or the proceedings rather seem slow or tedious to the public, thoroughness is indeed essential. She stressed that the process is not meant for entertainment, but to ensure that all evidence is clear, convincing, and properly handled for the public interest. And tonight, our top story, which is the inauguration of the president and vice president of the Republic of the Philippines. We had reports coming in just earlier today that the Republic had to redo the inauguration due to a use of the confirmed report of a body double of the president during this program during the ceremony yesterday. We're going to speak with the president in a few moments to clarify this matter. But of course, first, we'll take the stage on this and say that the motto of this particular ceremony was towards a rejuvenated nation. So, what does this mean for the Republic of the Philippines 5 years on from its founding? So, we are joined now by the President Tiewan Alexandria Song Navarro. Good evening to you, Ms. President.
Good evening to you and new Robloxer, and good evening to our televiewers who are watching us live on RBS News. It's trusted news
Thank you.
here.
Thank you very much, Ms. President. And I still do remember the first and foremost the interviews that we had back about 5 years ago. I think you were the House Speaker. Am I right to say that?
Yes, you are correct. New Robloxer, it was the House Speaker at the time. I was referred to before as BBC News at 1 and had the
Mm-hmm.
roleplay name Song Hee Kyung. Now
Mm-hmm.
changed to Song Yewon, and now in official sense for westernized version is Yewan Alexandra Kendra Montgomery Carlson Song Navarro, as I was married to my beloved husband, the Chief Presidential Legal Counsel, Ethan Brent Navarro. That was a full circle moment for me, since that was my first interview as one of uh, really a historical political figure at the time. During the
Indeed.
impeachment of Vice President Ryan Magno, as well as we do both work together after that when I ended my stint at the House Speakership, that we had worked very closely as anchors at the RBS News, and I have treated RBS as a family to me. And the honor is mine to accept this interview with this network who I cherish as well. And it's very much enthusiastic that after 5 years, we're back at the anchor desk and talking about our nation's top issues. So thank you, Nurboxer.
Yes, indeed. It's also a great honor to be here with you. I mean, it is a full circle moment, as we say. But of course, you are here to discuss something and we are here to discuss something that's very pressing for this community that you have, the Nation of the Republic of the Philippines. You spoke about the motto towards a rejuvenated nation. I mean, yesterday we also heard the speech of your Vice President, Ardiente, and it's an inspiring slogan. But what measurable change should your citizens expect within your first 100 days that would prove that this is more than your campaign line, but it is rather something plausible, something concrete that your administration can act upon?
It's here. The motto rejuvenation comes with two other slogans. First off is Angat Navarro, and second is Matatag na Republika on the precedence of branding. Rejuvenation of the nation relies not just on the participation of the nation, but also on participation of the nation. Rejuvenation also is a practice. It is something of a creed, something of a, should I say, dedication, or something to be lived every single day. The word rejuvenation, or the motto itself, came from the Rejuvenation Pilipinas Coalition, a coalition that was formed in 2025 seeking to reform the government towards stability and away from governmental abuse of the predecessors of Rejuvenation Pilipinas presidents. That includes my mother-in-law, the the mother of my husband Aiden Brent Navarro, former President Gabriela Navarro. That also includes former President and now Vice President Jetro Ardiente. So the credo of rejuvenation focuses on the intention that government has to be stepping up, or government has to step up in order to bring not just essential services, not just simple menial role play things that we do witness every single day, but a government that uh, focuses on also addressing the needs of the community in order to grow. It's not just the armed forces, it's not just the simple tit for tat, simple bread and butter, the equivalent of bread and butter issues that is the military and the police when it comes to roleplay activity, but as well as tougher decisions. The rejuvenation stands for not just reviving those sectors, but reviving all aspects of the government. Aside from rejuvenation, there are the two different mottos. The Angat Navarro stems from the local campaign of the city of the fish state. We will not reference who it was in real life. That's for a personal note. And the Angat Navarro focuses on uplifting the lives of many Filipino people, and they give them opportunities to be working in roleplay. They give them opportunities to have a space in their nation, to have a platform. And lastly, matatag na republika. This is not my original branding. Just to note, this has been a branding that was been implemented since 2024 through then President and now Vice President Jetro Argente. We merged those two brandings, Angat Navarra and Matatag na Republika, to signify the two visions of this administration. The Navarro Ardiente administration has a proven track record on proving that they can revive certain aspects of government. My vice president did that when he was president, when he revived numerous agencies. The PNP very much adore him to the point that they are still in touch today. The old PNP groups are still in touch with the vice president today. And yes, for me, my forte is the elections. Now I revitalize the strengthening of the ensuring proper democracy. Those are the principles of the rejuvenation, isang ang maangat na bansa at isang matatag na republika. How it should affect the Filipinos in the 4 months of my term in my first 100 days. That is, a rejuvenation government only becomes effective if participation, as I've said in my speech, participation is a two-way process. It is a two-way street. If the both participation of the government is the one to initiate activity, then the citizens shall in turn join those and support those activities. I said in the quote of my movie, The Crown, or the series The Crown, then the character Gillian Anderson Margaret Thatcher has said that there is a limit to what one can do if people are themselves limited. Meaning to say that the government can help, but still, it still has the person being helped still has to do something in order to be helped. That's how it goes.
Right, so we have that first accountability. I think it set the tone for this interview. We have a lot of accountability in this particular answer that you give us, Ms. President. But uh, we're going to shift now to certain elements of your speech. I mean, you've referenced it multiple times in your answer, but one thing that I think will be on a lot of the first and foremost the critics that you might have is, of course, the reforms, the institutional reforms, which is a shared vision between you and the vice president, which is you acknowledge that many government functions are carried by people doing repetitive and often invisible bureaucratic work. And you said that this is aside from that. So, if we look at this, you are talking about the rejuvenation, the strengthening of the AFP. You had the new constitution on hand. You have your experience in the electoral reform. How, in this first case, especially for maybe most of the government staff that will be under you, how should they believe that this administration values them beyond the rhetoric, especially when previous governments have also promised the same?
Okay, that was a very hard-hitting question. Get be honest with that. There have been multiple attempts for government revitalization for previous administrations, and I commend them for trying. We have to commend previous leaders who have sacrificed their talent and everything just to revive the government. I have unfortunately witnessed that effort go to waste with the previous president, uh, Sarah Alice Duterte was elected, then became ousted three days later because the group majesty government is not doing anything. Perception is everything, I think, and the government will always value your talents, no matter who you are, no matter how you have done. My husband once said, Chief Presidential Legal Counsel once said, that what you did before doesn't define who you are today. What you do today defines who you are. In our current confidence that these officials are potentially feeling about, if you feel that the government is, if you feel that this government will in turn be the one to be with you in helping the Filipino citizens to experience a accountable and functioning government, go ahead, join us. Actually, we're still in the process as we speak. There are still the delay backlog of cabinet appointees because number one, the Secretary of Foreign Affairs presumptive and the Secretary of Justice presumptive have failed to attend the oath-taking ceremony. We just have to cancel it. Just had the dinner at the Malacañang earlier. Just had kung ano hinanda ng Malacañang catering sa amin ang kinain ng mga guests. Because those who were about to oath take were not here, so we have to push it back. But that sends a signal to us in the government that we have to do more in order for them to do more. If the government in its first infancy steps are already stumbling, that doesn't mean that we are ready to just lie down and just cry to our mommies. No, the government will in turn produce more activities and incentives for those secretaries in order to go here. We'd actually be more open to accept the previous secretaries of the previous government. At least we don't have another backlog of selection to find viable candidates. Because the problem today is that we are lacking on finding viable candidates to fill positions. The chairperson of the Central Election Commission has contacted me to say, baka hindi ko nakayanin for the congressional elections that there will happen on this weekend. And I said, pwede mag-tiis ka muna kasi wala pa akong mahanap na kapalit. And that after the elections, you can have 3 months or 4 months of break. So it's still fine. So there's an apparent issue of manpower that the government needs to
Mhm.
address. And since nasa first day pa lang tayo, we're still on our first steps on how can we address the issue of manpower. I think first and foremost there should be recruitment, open sessions, job fairs. Uh, a lot of nations currently in restoration are doing this since they have limited
Mhm.
options. They have to rely on job fairs. They have to rely on advertising. We're hiring new ministers of foreign affairs. We're hiring new secretaries of defense. That's okay. You still have to vet it. There's still commission of appointment. So either way, at least we can start something and we can deliver on government activity even with those situations.
Hey, so I we see that there's a picture that you have painted here of the lack of manpower in your in the government that you have, and the lack of uh, the community that has to really rebuild itself from scratch as it is with other rural nations. I mean, first and foremost, you did say in your speech that this democracy is with the people, by the people, and for the people. So it echoes back to Abraham Lincoln's principle of government for all. So in this case, what we're going to really have to ask the question, because the risk of hiring, as it says, of people, of the manpower that you necessarily need for the ministry, for the sorry, for the administration that you have. I think the first thing here that we have to ask, there are two questions here, which is, can you commit tonight that appointments to these new departments and agencies will be based on competence and professional qualifications rather than the politics itself? And the second question also becomes another transition into, you said no fault, no fight. Will political opponents who have engaged in this misconduct that you have painted a very gruesome picture of be treated with leniency, or will they be under accountability before they are able to fully reconcile with the politics, with the administration that you have?
Let's go to the first question. We have already
Yeah, so the
confirmed
first
to
question.
we're already have confirmed two appointees. So I said the Secretary of Justice and the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. This has been vetted through, studied carefully on how they will perform. Of course, of course, I'm gonna always quote very beloved husband. I'm a lover boy. I'm a lover boy
Mhm.
president as a married couple. But to cut it, Roblox politics always does not receive personal life. Instead, the excuses that were given to me to
Mhm.
date. The Secretary of Justice appointee is a council member for a provincial council I will not disclose. But he is a real government official, so he does have to balance government duties with role play. And
Mhm.
the other one, we have no word for it, but the vice president has. Though, in
Mhm.
the current sense, both have the capabilities and both have the necessary experience to to perform their relative duties. The Secretary of Justice is very much relevant in law, as he is a proper legislator. The
Mhm.
Secretary of Foreign Affairs presumptive appointee is very much capable of forging ties with the United States as we speak. That is what
Mhm.
is confirmed to us. Those are track records based on track records and previous experiences on what you hired preliminarily on those before I considered the plan of a job fair. So
Mhm.
those candidates were chosen because they're capable to lead and they're capable to serve the people to the best
Mhm.
of their abilities. On to the second question. Should
Okay.
I- yeah,
Mhm.
you have a
Yeah, so
follow
I'm
up
just going
question.
to repeat the question. I'm just going to say that again, we're looking at your speech, which was no foes, no bad blood, no drama, uh, and then also that there's no fault and no fight. So would, for example, let's say, for example, if the magisterium member there, uh, who really did give this instability that you find yourself in your administration, uh, if they do apply to your administration. Does this mean that they will be treated with leniency despite their misconduct in the name of unity? Or will accountability remain uncompromising even though it threatens really the atmosphere of reconciliation that you are trying to promote and promise?
Okay, so there's a very to clarify on my stances regarding the group administration and former political enemies. They're two fundamentally different things. The group magisterium, or the quote unquote group administration, is the group, of course, that manages and oversees the nation's outside of government aspects. My opposition and my statement and my relentless conviction to fight against potential misabuses is targeted towards the group magisterium's pagkakate, or rather their eagerness to intervene on menial government matters. As I've said, the former President Sara Alice Duterte was ousted after 3 days from being inaugurated as president. We don't want that to happen again. During my time as the Constitutional Convention delegate, we are the ones who ensured that group administration will have no chance to intervene. That's why on 2026 Constitution, on article amendment to the Constitution that shall prescribe the nature of relationship between group administration and government. And it suggests here that there shall be a separation of church and state. There is a similarity here. In real life, the Constitution mandates that there shall be a law made by Congress defining the relationship of political dynasties. We have our own political dynasties here. The political dynasty question is the group administration and their relentless intervention on government matters. Why we have to stop this is because I have witnessed many nations to collapse because of wrong decisions by group administrations to intervene on political matters. Second, there's that difference on group magisterium, and there's the difference on the political opponents, former political opponents. Uh, on a public discourse, public discourse on the general chat of Filbers, there was a during my time as candidate, there was actually during the inauguration of the vice president, there was a heated banter between me then the president elect and the former palace press officer and presidential communications office undersecretary Lian Valera, who was the commissioners and communications undersecretary under President Malcolm Sanchez. There's this some sort of political tension with regards to past experiences. So I just want to emphasize that on my speech, that even if those political opponents, since I have witnessed a large entry during the campaign period and election period of former political figures jumping ship from the Kingdom of the Philippines to the Philippine Filbers. There's a jump ship that happened when the king intervened on that nation that caused its collapse of government. We don't want to have that here. We do not have to have a scenario here of grave abuse of discretion through intervention. And gladly, even if they had bad blood with me, if they had bad blood with this administration, if they had bad blood with the vice president, that we will still welcome to work with them just for the sake of working for the Filipino people. So let's just remove the differences aside. Remove the scandals
Yes, easy.
aside. There, I have a
Mhm.
personal stand regards the weaponization of the alleged molestation case. There was a
Mm.
weaponization, and that I will not go deep into that. deep into that,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
it's very much a stark thing. But regardless of what you do, this government does not seek foes. That's what I said. This government,
mm-hmm,
at the very least of its priorities, wants to have political drama at the first day of its term. Do not want that to happen,
agree.
since it
Mm-hmm,
will tank the stability of the nation and turn remove the trust of the people to us, because the people chose us to
mm-hmm,
restore the health of this nation, and we will do just that. We will not seek election and win in order to manage the decline of a great nation.
mm-hmm.
That's how it goes. So they're
Yes.
welcome to do so. The elections for the Congress is just up in the horizon. Whoever wins, I do honestly. I have not yet properly endorsed any candidates during my term as president, but I will do now. That the Laban Demokratiko Pilipino are very much, I'm confident with the candidates of those
Mm-hmm.
parties. Even though I do not endorse the Liberal Democratic Party, I will just call them Chiminto. So there will be no confusion because they're both LDP. I'll just call them the Japanese term Chiminto. Jiminto is what should I say, mostly comprised of former political opponents of mine. I do admit that. That is already acknowledged. And
Mm-hmm.
if they win, or if the LDP win and they have a minority, and either way, they're still welcome to be part of this government and how they govern, because our interest today is to rebuild the country. And
Mm-hmm.
without the legislature, we will not do it because we cannot pass policies to steward our country. That is what we will say in the State of the Nation address on the opening of Congress. That policies, direction of this country, the vision of this administration will go just ahead if the Congress is involved.
Hey, so Madam President, I think um, the full picture, the answers that you've just given, really do provide for conciliation. The reaching out of your hand of a laurel leaf against political aisle. We see the promises of a strengthened AFP. We see the strengthening, of course, of the bureaucratic institutions that admittedly still comprise a majority of your administration. We see the necessity of rebuilding rural nations. We see the DFA strengthening, restructuring, rejuvenation, your government, your appointments, and what you have to endorse and the politics at hand. So let me ask you this directly, since you said no weaponization of government, no weaponization of scandals, no bad blood, and a government that serves all Filipinos. If, let's say, 4 months from now, the strongest criticism of your presidency is that you protected your allies, you tolerated abuses committed in the name of stability, or even used the machinery of government to silence opponents. Will you commit tonight that you would consider, but not merely, a political setback? I mean, consider that merely not only a political setback, but a betrayal of your own and the very idea that you gave, which is a rejuvenated nation.
No, this was very a lot to unpack there.
Mhm,
hmm With the pledge, the pledge is very much what I want to live by every single day of my presidency. No administration is perfect. And I will not say no humans are perfect. I'm just gonna say no administration is perfect.
exactly.
There are parts of agendas that will not meet expectations. That's part of politics.
Mhm,
And what is important is that we deliver sufficiently, not just enough, but what fulfills the people. And it is really a betrayal of what 5 years of my political career if I did try
mhm,
to weaponize government institutions for my own gain.
Mhm.
That's simply a betrayal of my 5 year career because I have experienced those time and time again. So to experience them to others is just betraying yourself, your past self. You're just betraying
Mhm.
you what you are standing up for in the first place. So
Mhm.
the idea of weaponizing government institutions against political opponents is something out of the question. That it's something that is not in my mind. I may be insane verbally, but policy wise, I can assure you that I do consult with myself, my
Mhm.
husband, as the legal counsel because he is the primary advisor on that. Except the secretaries and my assistants, and of course my vice president, and of course my cabinet.
Mhm.
I consult. I consult with everything I do. And if it feels wrong, then we will not do it. And it is if it is wrong and it is wrong, we will not do it.
Mhm.
Simple as that. So there should be a you know we're not Poncho Pilat. We're not clean.
Mhm.
Already,
Mhm.
I have a sexual allegation scandal in 2024 and
Mhm.
2025 that brought me the used by political opponents. But those things are on the past. Doesn't define what you do
Mhm.
now. What you do now will define who will you be at the end of your term.
Mhm.
And that this government will not allow any single speck of any machinery being used to apologies.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Hindi, may-interview lang ako. May interview ako, TV interview. Okay lang tayo.
Apologies for that technical difficulties on my end.
Yeah, it's okay.
As my husband once said, personal life comes over Roblox politics. That
Mhm.
is a living definition. Look at the chief presidential legal counsel now. He's not around. He's busy studying. He's busy with his life. That's how it goes. As I was saying, this government will not accept any speck of any abuse of power. Immigration being used to deport political opponents, electoral reform being used to elections being used to uh I say gerrymander or favor one
Gerrymandering.
party,
Yeah. Mhm.
weaponization of uh, the judiciary to file cases frivolously or control the judges and influence the judges in any way. This government will not do that. You may
Mhm.
see during the inauguration we have a comedic moment with the Chief Justice. That's because we have still a professional and personal professional and friendly relationship, but that doesn't mean that I influence the Chief Justice in any way with his decisions, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, weaponization of this government. How can we even weaponize if we don't know those things, how to work with them? I don't know how to do those stuff. I don't know how to ask ask a chairman of the election commission to disincentivize someone. I do not know
Mhm.
how to ask the legislature to benefit an election commission for their brand identity. No, I do not know how to do that. I don't know how to do any of those. I'm already way past my prime. Presidency is
Mhm.
a pinnacle. After that, I retire. That's simple as that.
Madam
The worst
President.
thing you can do on your last things is to uh defame yourself even more. If you are disgraced 5 years
Exactly.
ago during the speakership, if you have failed to follow the Impeachment Rules Act 5 years ago when you're just 12 years old, now
Uh-huh.
that you're 18, you're already old, you're already busy with personal stuff. You don't want to leave a
Mhm.
legacy of disgrace. That's how it
Exactly.
goes.
Madam President, I mean, thank you for that answer. But of course, this is the. I mean, we're going to give a disclosure to the viewers watching us on RBS Evening News. We have to give you a full disclosure. Of course, the press is here, and I'm sure that the president will agree because he made it a point in his speech that the press freedom really does require us to be hard hitting. It really has to be in the sense that we give the full picture every time. So we cannot avoid, of course, these kinds of politics, and we cannot avoid these kinds of questionings, the hard line of questioning that sometimes will give us a headache. But nevertheless, let it be a lesson that for the past 5 years of your row nation and of the other row nations that I've observed from my years of reporting here in RBS, is that it really has to start off with looking back at the past, but not dwelling in it and looking at a brighter future. So Miss President, it has certainly been a long and historic evening. We thank you for joining us
I'm
here on
actually at
RBS
the
News.
media. I think you mentioned
Yes.
media in your speech.
Yeah.
I almost forgot how previous governments have weaponized media to their will.
Exactly.
For example, the a former state media on a former community has used to lampoon a political party for its lack of full attendance, then boast the administration party for its complete for its complete attendance on the proclamation ceremony when I was NEC chair, the National Electoral
Hmm.
Commission. But in this
Hmm.
vision, actually, the government wants to be hands-on with state media, then
Hmm.
be as asking for the media to hit them harder, because
Hmm.
the state media should also hit the administration harder. The state media works for the state, it doesn't work for one government only. The state media before was used as a mouthpiece of the government to spew rhetoric that destroys political parties. The state media today is, albeit the disappointing graphics, as what my journalist husband, boyfriend, CPLC, Aiden Brent Navarro once said. So the graphics may be disappointing, but at least the RTVM today is really going on a good direction. But I said on my inaugural address that the government will take initiative in improving their services and how can they do graphics, but they will not be in any way change in editorial control. This RBS, even though I'm a former employee of this network and I have served here my anchor days, I did not ask the CEO nor the board of directors to make favorable statements about me. And that's something that we have to take notice on press freedom. Is the press is called the fifth estate. Based on
Hmm.
I know this from the program of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. The fifth estate is the first estate, the second, third, fourth. The media is the fifth pillar of democracy. They're the fifth pillar that ensures that democracy is holds still together. If we try to control the media as a mouthpiece, then the media is just a useless nothing burger. It's just the spokesperson is useless if the media is the spokesperson. The palace press officer will not say magandang umaga Malacanang press corps because the media is already doing that for the palace. So inherently, we actually want to have more media here so we can have wider coverages, wider perspectives. And of course, as a journalist, we have to be objective to the fact. We have to be objective on the fact and biased on the. That's how it goes.
Thank you, Madam. Thank Thank you, Madam President. Okay, I think we apologize for a technical difficulty there, but I mean, last question. It's not going to be a hard hitting question, but of course, it's something to end on a light note. Who gets who gets the first real break tonight? Is it you, the president, the vice president, or even your husband, or the exhausted staff who have been running this inauguration from start to finish?
We all are very exhausted. We remember I had the body doubled because I sleep peacefully from 3 p.m. on August 5 to August 6 at 12:30 a.m. So I've been sleeping
Oh my
peacefully. That's
gosh.
why I have failed to attend the inauguration. But it has been said, the personal life. If my body couldn't tolerate, if my body started, just go ahead. Don't hate yourself. I was actually hating myself. I was screaming in my bed that
Mhm.
nation. Oh, what will I do? I'm a disgrace. I repeated the same mistakes when I'm Blue Note, when I was NEC chairwoman. I failed to open the elections on time. That was a Vote 2025 coverage. This network covered it. There was an interview via KBS News, and I was apologizing because I failed to open the elections, and there were protests in Bay Pangarap. Bay Pangarap was burned down. We had to
Oh,
rebuild it. The Prime Minister's residence was rebuilt then. It's a huge dent on the budget.
okay, so we see that, Madam President, you've got a lot on your hands, plate. I don't know if the oxymoron or whatever quote that I'm trying to think of would explain the humongous picture that we have to paint here and that your administration has to lead on. But thank you again for joining us here on RBS Evening. Confirmed report, we've seen it from the Quezon City government. This is coming from the recommendation of the Yellow Heavy Rainfall Advisory of Pag-asa, as the QCDRMC also met with the government earlier this evening to give you this announcement that all public schools are instructed to change to the alternative delivery modes of learning. Again, these affects child development centers, the kindergarten level, grades 1 to 12, and those under the alternative learning system. Alternative delivery modes of learning, synchronous and asynchronous, will be implemented. Again, we're going to give you a short update here on the weather situation right now. The southwest monsoon, which is, of course, the Habagat, continues to bring widespread rains across Luzon, including Metro Manila, with weather conditions further enhanced by the recent presence of tropical depression Maymay and the lingering effects of tropical cyclone Luis. And we are also monitoring the typhoon Dolphin. Pagasa says that these weather systems have intensified the monsoonal flow, allowing large amounts of moisture to be drawn toward the western sections of the country. As a result, periods of moderate to heavy rain occasionally becoming intense have affected the National Capital Region, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, and portions of Northern Luzon. So authorities have continued to warn residents in flood-prone and landslide-prone areas to remain vigilant, especially as rivers, creeks, and drainage systems may already be saturated from days of persistent rainfall. Looking ahead, Pagasa has continued to monitor conditions closely. While the immediate concern remains heavy rainfall and localized flooding, residents are advised to keep track of official bulletins, particularly as August remains one of the most active months of the tropical cyclone season. And this is the case actually for last year, if we do remember. So for now, umbrellas remain essential, travel times may be longer than usual, and authorities are urging the public to prioritize your safety. Let's continue on with the other headlines of the day, which is one of the headlines that we're going to take. Let's take on that a lawmaker on the Supreme Court has to step in regarding petitions blocking the implementation of an 85 peso wage hike in Metro Manila. The representative Percy Sandanya of the Akbayan Party List has urged the High Court to investigate whether lower courts have abused their authority after a Pasig City Court issued a temporary restraining order, TRO, and another petition was filed in Navotas City. Sandanya warned that failing to address the issue could quickly set a dangerous precedent, allowing businesses to routinely block regional wage increases across the country. Sandanya also expressed alarm over the DOLE's immediate compliance with the court ruling, arguing that the agency had failed to stand up for workers despite clear labor laws. In response, Labor Secretary Francis Tolentino stated he would leave the decision's basis to the court while affirming DOLE's commitment to protecting workers. Adding to the opposition, Representative Chel Diokno cited Article 126 of the Labor Code, which explicitly prohibits courts from issuing TROs or injunctions against decisions made by the regional tripartite wages and productivity boards. Several senators have echoed this point, adopting a resolution that calls on the Pasig City Court to lift the TRO based on the same labor law provision. Government leadership is also preparing legal action to uphold the pay increase. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro has confirmed that the Office of the Solicitor General is ready to defend the 85 peso wage hike in court, emphasizing that the administration has a right to stand up for what is proper to Filipino workers. Another story now. The Presidential Communications Office has launched an investigation into social media accounts that have spread false reports claiming that Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa was arrested and being sent to the International Criminal Court. The misinformation had circulated rapidly online, alleging that the lawmaker had been apprehended after months of evading an arrest warrant linked to his role in the Duterte's administration's drug war. Communications Undersecretary Claire Castro announced during a palace briefing that Communications Secretary Dave Gomez had directed the anti-fake news desk to trace the origin of these reports. Officials are currently analyzing the content and intent behind the posts to determine if they were malicious. Castro has emphasized that the government is actively monitoring and addressing fake news beyond this specific instance. Again, the palace has previously dismissed the arrest rumors, characterizing them as a diversionary tactic intended to shift public focus away from VP Sara Duterte. The impeachment, rather. While Malacanang has confirmed that the operations to locate and serve the wallet that are lost remain ongoing, officials declined to elaborate on the specific challenges law enforcement faces in tracking him down. De La Rosa, who served as chief of the National Police, went into hiding in late 2025, following the confirmation of a pending ICC arrest warrant by the Ombudsman Jesus Crispin Remulla. Authorities, including teams from National Bureau of Investigation, have been actively monitoring potential hiding spots to execute this order. The senator did briefly reemerge in the Senate earlier this year to support ally Senator Alan Peter Cayetano's bid for the Senate presidency and head of the impeachment proceedings. After spending 3 days inside his Senate office during that period, he went back into hiding. We're going to also see here that another thing, more on yes, here we go. Sorry, we lost the script. On the 13th day of the president's impeachment trial, Senator judges have questioned State Auditor Roderick Wamil regarding the COA's findings on confidential fund usage. Senator Amy Marcos have Wamil on the authenticity of submitted acknowledgement receipts bearing unusual names, such as Mary Grace Fiatos. Wamil explained that current auditing circulars are silent on the use of aliases and that the audit office lacked the basis to declare the documents forged. The exchange turned tense over the finality and implications of the COA's audit notices. Marcos argued that notices of disallowance are not final until reviewed by the Supreme Court, while Wamil maintained that the order to restitute funds stands during judicial review. Regarding notices of suspension, Wamil stated that failure to properly account for funds creates a legal presumption that the money was used for personal benefit. Cayetano intervened to clarify that such audit presumptions are not conclusive and do not automatically equate to criminal corruption. He highlighted the distinction between administrative noncompliance and criminal acts, asking where the legal boundary lies. Wamil did note that if an agency fails to settle a disallowance, COA escalates the matter to the Office of the Ombudsman for potential criminal prosecution. Debate did arise regarding who holds primary responsibility for fund management lapses. Marcos did cite auditing guidelines to argue that financial liability rests solely with special dispersing officers rather than the vice president, as the latter did not directly sign for the money. Wamil countered rather that the agency heads retain overarching responsibility to oversee cash advances and ensure adherence to auditing rules. The debate escalated until presiding officer Francis Cheese Escudero intervened, reminding the witness and senator judges to refrain from arguing under the governing joint circular. Accountable officers are broadly defined as any government official whose duties involve the possession, custody, or safekeeping of public funds. Coming up next on the RBS Evening News, the House of Representatives approves House Bill 9697 on its third and final reading. And Alex Ayala once again reigns as she advances to the third round of the 2026 Canadian Open. All these and more with me, Neuroboxer 97, when the RBS Evening News returns.
To, meron ba kaming iaalok sa inyo? Meron ba kaming kinuhang artista o sikat na personalidad para i-endorso kung anong mang inaalok namin? Siyempre, ang sagot niyan, wala. Literal na wala. Wala kami niyan, Chong.
Looking for affordable sound equipment? Shoneytron Synplus is your leading brand. With high quality sound module, over 31,000 songs, and 25 high definition background videos to choose from. Choose from our variety karaoke units with sophisticated sound arrangements and high quality backup chorus. Digital system assembled in South Korea and made durable in the Philippines. Looking for the best brand? Choose the leader in karaoke solutions. Shoneytron Synplus. Karaoke redefined.
There's a doggy here. Sabi niya sa akin.
And it's not
Kuya, huwag niyong itaong.
Ginawa niya matataog, ma'am.
yeah, I might laugh along.
Let this go both.
Thinking I'm yours. You're the last thing on the mind. Pinagkapitin ng puso. Unahin lang mga pangarap ko. Ito'y hindi na magbabago. Na 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 na.
Like, paano nga exact? Kasi ano, natatanong na yung si Miss Nemo.
Na 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 na.
Dito na tayo sa Jol A, kung saan lahat ay okay. Lahat ito ay super mura, lahat pang mapaganda dito sa Jol A. Napatunayan na ng bayan, wala nang ang iba. Quality shopping ang aming dala. Mapapa-Jol A talaga kayo, ang supermarket namin ay Jol A.
Wala kaming commercial. Pwera na lang sa commercial nito, oo. Oo naman. Pero, meron ba kaming bagong produkto? Meron ba kaming iaalok sa inyo? Meron ba kaming kinuhang artista o sikat na personalidad para i-endorso kung anong mang inaalok namin? Siyempre, ang sagot niyan, wala. Literal na wala. Wala kami niyan, Chong.
Good evening. Welcome back to the RBS Evening News. First, we're going to talk about the House of Representatives approving House Bill 9697 on its third and final reading with 205 affirmative votes, 3 negative votes, and no abstentions. The proposed measure seeks to include direct purchase and unsolicited proposals as recognized modes of land acquisition for socialized housing programs. By amending Republic Act 7279, the bill aims to institutionalize the incentivized compliance for the balanced housing program. It is designed to speed up the delivery of housing units to target beneficiaries by streamlining local government requirements. Other bills were also passed that day on its third and final reading, such as House Bill 7613, declaring every fourth Thursday of November as National Thanksgiving Day, House Bill 9584, establishing the revised Cooperative Code, and House Bill 9599, granting Philippine citizenship to Andres Miguel Soriano IV, and other resolutions expressing deep condolences to the families of two former lawmakers were made, especially to former Zamboanga del Norte 1st District Representative Romeo Halastos Sr., who served in the 10th to 12th Congresses, and former Camarines Sur 2nd District Representative Leopoldo San Benaventura of the 10th Congress. And finally, the House elected new committee leaders to handle legislative affairs. FPJ Panday Bayanihan Party List Representative Brian Poe was named Vice Chairperson of the Committee on Ways and Means, while Santa Rosa City Representative Roy Gonzalez was designated Vice Chairperson of the Special Committee on Globalization and the WTO. The Senate on Wednesday, August the 5th, adopted resolutions honoring the life of Rene Paterbonia and recognizing his contributions to Philippine sports. Sponsoring Senate Resolution number 472, Senator Robin Padilla recounted how Paterbonia inspired Filipino youth through his dedication to basketball, which he used to support and help his family. Padilla emphasized that measure honors both a great athlete and every young Filipino striving to bring honor to their family and country. Paterbonia's parents, Rovelyn and Rene Paterbonia Sr., attended the Senate session to witness the tribute. Senator Risa Hontiveros addressed the parents directly, offering words of comfort and assuring them that their son's name and legacy would be remembered with respect by this chamber. Senators Joel Villanueva, Camille A. Villar, and P.S. Cayetano also co-sponsored the resolution. In addition to honoring Paterbonia, the Senate approved Senate Resolution 473 to express its profound sympathies to the families of Chris Lawrence Fabian, Ayasa Nicole Dazo, and Joyansi Zapara. The three students were tragically killed in a shooting in Tacloban, prompting the upper chamber to formally honor their memory and mourn their loss. We do remember the shooting incident that occurred in Tacloban, in a high school in Tacloban. Senator Padilla, who sponsored the second resolution as well, stressed that the measure serves as a tribute to the victims' bravery and a strong reminder of the critical need to keep school environments safe. He did express hope that the official recognition from Senate would offer a measure of comfort to the grieving families. Senators Villanueva, Villar, and Hontiveros joined as co-sponsors for Senate Resolution number 473 alongside Padilla. The adoption of both resolutions highlights the Senate's effort to pay tribute to young Filipinos whose lives were cut short, while advocating for youth empowerment and campus safety nationwide. RBS Sports News now. Philippine tennis star Alex Ayala advanced to the third round of the 2026 Canadian Open after defeating Alicia Parks of the United States 6-1, 4-6, and 6-2 at the Sobeys Stadium in Toronto, entering the tournament as the 25th seed following her maiden WTA Tour title win in Washington. Ayala received the first round bye and rallied in the final set to seal the victory. Ayala dominated the opening frame after breaking Parks in the fourth game, but the American elevated her game to take the second set 6-4. In the deciding set, Ayala broke Parks to love in the fifth game before holding some serve cleanly to wrap up the match in an hour and 51 minutes. The win also provided Ayala a measure of revenge against Parks, who had beaten her at the Australian Open earlier in the year. Following the match, Ayala expressed deep gratitude to the vocal Filipino crowd in Toronto, who cheered her on with flags and banners. She shared how proud she was to represent her country and celebrated the back-to-back support she received both in Washington and Canada. Ayala will face Kati McNally, who advanced after stunning reigning Wimbledon champion Linden Noskova in their second round match. The victory keeps Ayala's strong momentum after her historic championship run at the DC Open, where she defeated Jessica Pegula in the final. Another tournament action, top seeds Elena Rybakina, Jessica Pegula, and Coco Gauff also secured third round spots. Rybakina outlasted the 3-set match. Pegula recovered after losing her opening set to Magdalena Freyk, and Gauff dispatched compatriot in straight sets. And RBS Entertainment News. Following the massive success of Spider-Man Brand New Day, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige addressed whether Tom Holland will return for another film. Speaking with Variety, Feige shared that while plans are always in development, Holland will first take a well-deserved break after completing a global press tour. He added that Holland and his wife and co-star Zendaya earned the right to enjoy a restful victory lap following the film's release. Feige also explained why Sadie Sink's role in the movie was initially kept under wraps by the studio. He noted that hiding her involvement was aimed at delivering the best possible opening weekend experience for fans, emphasizing that her character holds immense significance for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. With the secret now out, Feige expressed relief that Sink no longer has to dodge questions about her involvement. For his part, Holland expressed enthusiasm about continuing his portrayal of the web slinger during the interview with a Hollywood Reporter at the Los Angeles premiere. The actor stated that he is willing to play Spider-Man for as long as Marvel will have him. He playfully added that if the current film performs well, fans will have to wait and see what comes next. Spider-Man Brand New Day proved to be a massive box office hit, crossing the $1 billion threshold globally just after 6 days of its premiere. In the Philippines, the superhero blockbuster generated over 586.9 million pesos between July 29th and August 1st, setting a new local debut record. Set more than 4 years after Spider-Man No Way Home, the film centers on Peter Parker as he deals with the aftermath of Doctor Strange's memory-erasing spell. While Spider-Man has kept New York City safe by battling villains like Scorpion and Tombstone, he soon confronts a new body-hopping adversary whose arrival threatens his closest friends, MJ and Ned. And still to come on RBS Evening News. The sports still hot on the day. EJ Obiena continues his gold medal streak by winning the Stop of Sprung's meeting in Joachim, Germany. And have celebrities congratulated Alex Ayala's success and wins on RBS Celebrity News. All of these and more when RBS Evening News returns.
There's a doggy here. Sabi niya sa akin,
And it's not
Kuya, huwag niyong itaon.
Hindi naman niya matataob, ma'am.
Yeah, I might laugh along,
Let this go both.
thinking I'm yours. You're the last thing on the mind. Pinagkapitin ng puso, unahin lang mga pangarap ko. Ito'y hindi na magbabago. Na 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 na.
like, paano nga exact? Kasi natatanong na yung si Miss ngayon.
Na 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 na.
Dito na tayo sa Joy, kung saan lahat ay okay. Lahat ito ay super mura, lahat pang mapaganda dito sa Joy. Napatunayan na ng bayan, wala nang ang iba. Quality shopping ang aming dala. Mapapajolay talaga kayo, ang supermarket namin ay Joy.
Sa tuwa't saya na aming
Wala kaming commercial. Pwera na lang sa commercial nito, oo. Oo naman. Pero, meron ba kaming bagong produkto? Meron ba kaming iaalok sa inyo? Meron ba kaming kinuhang artista o sikat na personalidad para i-endorse kung anong mang inaalok namin? Siyempre, ang sagot niyan, wala. Literal na wala. Wala kami niyan, Chong.
Looking for affordable sound equipment? Shoneytron Simplus is your leading brand. With high quality sound module, over 31,000 songs, and 25 high definition background videos to choose from. Choose from our variety karaoke units with sophisticated sound arrangements and high quality backup chorus. Digital system assembled in South Korea and made durable in the Philippines. Looking for the best brand? Choose the leader in karaoke solutions. Shoneytron Simplus. Karaoke redefined.
Good evening, it's the RBS Evening News with Neuroblockster 97. We're back now with this story. Justice Secretary Jesus Crispino Remulla commented on the alleged character assassination plot implicating Batangas 1st District Representative Leandro Levistas, stating that he hopes the lawmaker is not involved. Despite Levistas' firm denials, Remulla emphasized that investigators need to carefully examine the sworn statement of former Congressman Jacinto Jing Paras, who has emerged as a person of interest in the scheme and could potentially face human trafficking charges. Paras's attorney, Mark Tolentino, pushed back against Remulla's statement, insisting that any allegations should be supported by evidence presented in proper prosecutorial and judicial forums. Tolentino did state that while Paras is willing to cooperate with lawful investigations, he will actively contest claims based on speculation, untested allegations, or media narratives. This scheme came to light following the arrest of a talent manager on human trafficking charges. According to the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, the suspect is alleged that he was asked to recruit women to falsely accuse Finance Secretary Ralph Recto of hiring their services, with the women supposedly being forced to use illegal drugs as part of the setup. The NBI noted that the suspect directly named Paras as a key planner behind the character assassination attempt, while Leviste was allegedly expected to provide financial backing. NBI Director Melvin Matibag confirmed these statements clearly point to communications and planning involving the former congressman. Director Matibag added that there is currently no evidence suggesting Secretary Remulla or any other government official that were targets of the plot, though the Bureau will continue to investigate all angles. The NBI maintained that the talent manager's apology will not halt the ongoing probe into the alleged operation. And as you know, As always in our broadcast, we give you a closer look into things, and it's the inauguration of the president and the vice president. We know beyond the patriotism, the sparkle, and probably of party tonight at the Malacanang that just occurred. Tonight's inauguration represents more than a ceremonial transition. It marks the beginning of an administration that has placed democratic legitimacy and institutional reform at the center of its mandate. The Navarro Ardiente message, aangat ang lahat kasama ang Navarro at Ardiente, presents itself as a rejuvenation of democracy for all. But this motto is nothing new, admittedly. It affirms the Antigua motto of Democracy Manifest. The next 4 months, we have to acknowledge, stand as a challenge conquered beyond this lofty inauguration. Ideological romanticism and politicking party lines do run the risk of watering down what the objective of their election and governance is, the conviction to lead all facets of society toward the common good. The campaign places heavy emphasis on electoral reforms, the integrity of constitutional commissions, and resistance to undue intervention in democratic processes, especially the group magisterium intervention. That emphasis recalls Alexis de Tocqueville's warning that the health of a democratic society may be measured by the quality of functions performed by private citizens, a reminder that democracy is sustained not only by elections but by institutions and civic participation. That vision, hopefully one they will remain faithful to, as we've seen in the interview, resonates with Aristotle's insight into politics that the good of the state is the common concern of all its citizens, a credo they campaigned on, which should not really be a credo. I mean, this is in Latin, this means I believe, I believe, I believe. This is what Hannah Arendt observed, that power corresponds to the human ability not just to act but to act in concert. It means to create and fulfill that credo, the creed. Real democratic power, therefore, lies not in the inauguration ceremony, but in the ability of leaders to build institutions that continue to function effectively long after the applause has faded. Karl Popper, political philosopher, once wrote that the question is not who should rule, but how much can we organize political institutions so that bad rulers can be prevented from doing too much damage. In other words, this success of the Navarro Ardiente administration will not be measured solely by the strength of its mandate, but by whether it can build institutions that are transparent, accountable, participatory, and resilient enough to serve the Republic beyond this historic inaugural night. RBS Sports News now. Filipino pole vaulter EJ Obiana continued his gold medal streak by winning the Stabhochsprung meeting in Jokrem, Germany. The world number 14 cleared 5.83 meters to secure top honors, though he narrowly missed his 3 attempts to surpass his season best height at 5.93 meters. Obiana edged out Qatar's Saifullah Abdeslam for the gold, as Abdeslam cleared the same 5.83 mark but needed a 3rd attempt to accomplish it. Turkey's Ersus Asma took home the bronze medal after clearing 5.77 meters on a 2nd try. Reflecting on his performance on Instagram, Obiana noted and shared that the competition was far from smooth due to early warm-up struggles. Despite the rough start, he expressed satisfaction with managing to clear an 80-bar height in front of the enthusiastic German crowd. The victory marks Obiana's 4th gold medal on German soil for the 2026 season. His recent streak follows another gold medal performance at the Haberstadt Honninflug International Pole Vault meeting in Haberstadt over the previous weekend. Earlier in the year, the Filipino athlete kicked off his season by winning the International Springer meeting in Cottbus. He later added to his medal haul by claiming gold at the ISTAF Indoor Berlin in March, as he continues his preparation for the upcoming international events. And RBS Entertainment News now. Filipino celebrities flooded social media to celebrate Alex Ayala's historic victory at the Mubadala DC Open. On Instagram, Ayala shared a photo of herself holding her first WTA singles trophy with the caption, "Me and my first." Prominent figures such as Karen Davila, Bianca Gonzalez, Ia Villanilla, and Isa Calzado left glowing congratulatory messages praising her hard-earned achievement and predicting more titles in the future. Again, give you a reminder that Ayala secured the landmark title by defeating world number 3 Jessica Pagula of the United States. She rallied back after dropping the first set to pull off a 4-6, 6-4, and 6-0 victory. This milestone has made her the first Filipino tennis player ever to win a WTA Tour singles title. Post-match interview, she said that the overwhelming support from friends and family gave her the confidence going into the final. She expressed that feeling so much love made her realize that the experience was already a success regardless of the outcome, while remaining confident that this title would not be her last. Ayala extended heartfelt thanks to her global fan base, highlighting the passionate support that she felt from Filipinos in Washington, D.C., to Canada and back home. She credited their encouragement as a major source of strength throughout her tournament run. Her historic achievement drew widespread national praise, including commendations from boxing icon Manny Pacquiao, who celebrated the resilient spirit and recognized her as the country's newest sporting champion. And last story of the day on a lighter note, it's time to look on to Market in Bonifacio Global City. Popular South Korean coffee chain Compose Coffee is officially entering the Philippine market. Again, brought to the country by the Jollibee Group, the brand operates as a grab-and-go concept targeting busy workers and commuters near major transit hubs. Business development head Alan Vance shared that future branches will follow a similar strategy, focusing on major business districts before expanding nationwide. Recognizing the Philippines as a massive coffee market, Compose Coffee aims to attract consumers with affordable prices, starting at 90 pesos and large 20-ounce servings. Excuse me. Well, I do need a coffee for that. Ordering is made convenient through in-store touchscreen kiosks, which Dan notes provide great value for customers while streamlining daily operations. The menu features South Korean favorites like the Vienna Cream Latte, Dalgona Latte, and the Yuzu Staccato Smoothie, created in collaboration with BTS member V. To cater specifically to local tastes, the brand has introduced two Philippine exclusives, the Orange Americano and the Salty Cream Latte. Indulgent options such as the Chocolate Ganache Latte and Angel Me Ice Shave are also available. While black coffee dominates sales in South Korea, Dan acknowledged that Filipino consumers generally prefer sweeter drink profiles. To accommodate these preferences, Compose Coffee has recently launched a wide selection across 6 beverage categories. The food selection remains minimal currently, but focuses primarily on sweet waffles as the brand prioritizes its drink lineup. The Philippine launches its the Philippine launch marks Compose Coffee's third international expansion following Singapore and Taiwan. The brand has enjoyed immense popularity in South Korea, where it currently operates more than 3,000 locations. And that's your world tonight. That's the developments that we've been able to gather here in the newsroom, here on the RBS Evening News. For more of the developments from our newsroom, tune in to RBS, RBSN, or log on to rbsnews.com. That has been the headlines, the stories that matter. Eurobloxer 97 reporting. Thank you for staying with RBS News on this night. Good night.